Once, a very long time ago, these lands were home to a small kingdom, built in the shattered ruins of what was once a majestic mountain. Traces of that ancient magical cataclysm still lingered in the area, and the engineers of the kingdom had learned how to tame and harness some of it, to make the land more fertile, make their medicines more effective, make their mines more productive. And the greatest of the engineers was the king's sister, Ishkode. From the west side of the mountain poured a seemingly endless stream of lava. Generations of engineers had failed to tame the flow. But one day, Ishkode came to her brother with a plan to use that stream to power a magical forge, capable of producing machines and tools and weapons more powerful than the world had ever seen. Welcome back to Fractured, Season 2, Episode 3. So you've seen the title, you kind of have an idea what's going on. So you know how I said earlier that my plan for the season was to focus on environmental storytelling? Well, the problem with that plan is I kind of keep inspiring myself. I start coming up with these ideas for these locations so that I can then tell a story with the environmental storytelling. But then the idea in this story becomes so interesting to me that I want to explore it farther. And that's what's happened here. I found this ravine and I've already started terraforming it, but it needs a lot more work. Don't worry about that. Just it's fine. It's fine. But I came up with a story, and the idea of that story is so much fun for me that I want to do it justice. So yeah, we're going to make a little short film out of my ideas. There's one that we're going to make here. There's another one that's already in the works for farther away. The problem is, in order to do a short film, it's like any kind of film, even if you're in Minecraft. You need actors, and you need props, and you need sets. Props should be fairly easy. I think I've got that nice and covered. Actors, well, I mean, I'm going to be telling the story as a sort of fairy tale. You heard the current draft of the beginning of that story at the beginning of this video. It might change a bit. I'm not promising that it's going to stay exactly the same because I don't know yet. But that's the idea. It's going to be like I'm reading a fairy tale to an audience who wants to hear a fairy tale. I don't know who I'm going to rope into helping me act. Because the way I'm telling the story as sort of a fairy tale, it might not have speaking parts, but I might. I don't know. But some of the details are still very much up in the air. Anyways, I mean, the actors mostly taken care of. It's fine. But I need the sets. And the sets, since I also want these to be locations on the server, for the most part, I want them to be something that you can come visit. I kind of need to actually build them in survival, which is a bit of an issue, because that takes a lot of work. And yeah, that's a lot of very involved thinking time, which I don't have a ton of. So it's an issue. Anyway, what I'm going to be doing for the next little while is making videos about making the locations. Most of them I'm going to try to build on the server, but some of them just to fit with the story, like part of the story is that those locations are destroyed as part of the story. So building them on the server doesn't make a lot of sense because they're destroyed. They don't exist anymore. So for those, I will probably be building them over on Studio Blocks, which is a very interesting project that I cannot wait to show you guys more of if you haven't seen it yet. But that's going to have to wait. I'll tell you about it when we get there. In the meantime, we're going to be doing videos, like I said, that are just building the locations, mostly here. Now, in between episodes, I have been busy. So, yeah, let's go take a look. I have a few more villagers here already. Probably gonna add a few more. Hey, dudes. Down here, I added a little frog exhibit sanctuary thing. They're living their best little froggy lives in here. I don't know if I had these stairs down before. I suspect I didn't, because I built them down so I could build a melon farm. I had in here built a sugarcane farm, and that was very useful, but I plan on building another level down, which means I'm going to need a staircase, and it just makes sense to put it kind of under this one. And then here, I've got a big honkin' bamboo farm. By the standards of underground bamboo farms, at least. It's a big honkin' bamboo farm. I have that rigged up, so I push a button. There's a flying machine that will come down this way and then go back. There are mine carts underneath. Collecting all the bamboo gets turned into blocks of bamboo and brought here. All of that bamboo gets crafted into composters, and the composters are going in the ceiling here. And if we take a look behind them, I've got frog lights, which is why I had the frogs, in case that wasn't obvious. Composters are kind of neat because they let light through. I originally just had frog lights on the ceiling, as you can see over here, but it was so busy that it made the hole look really ugly. I mean, this ridiculous sea of composters isn't the most attractive either, let's be honest. But it's a whole lot better than the crazy busyness of the frog lights. I don't really have any plans for this hole. I wanted to dig a big hole, so I'm digging a big hole. I guess there is a little bit of a purpose. Over here, we got a little bit of a slime farm going. It's not producing a ton, but it's, it's enough. It makes a difference. Over time, it gradually accumulates slime, and definitely more than we're going to need all season. So, yeah, I'm just going to dig a cylinder straight down, and there's going to be this giant void in there, and I think what I'm going to do is put another farm or two in here, like maybe a spider farm, maybe a creeper farm. Like, all of that is really just me coming up with an excuse for doing all of this. I just wanted to dig a big hole. Sometimes that's just what you need, is an excuse to go do something ridiculous, like dig a giant pointless hole. It's fun. There's been a lot of other stuff going on as well that I haven't shown, and it's not because it's not fun and interesting and stuff. It's just, it's not the stories that I want to tell, and I don't have that much time for making videos and stuff. More accurately, I don't have that much brain power. It takes a lot of focused concentration, I guess, to make these videos. In the meantime, you can see some of the stuff that I've been up to in other people's videos. For example, I think BMA and possibly Irio have already done videos about the court battle. Because this is the second season of Fractured, and it's the second season where we've had a custody battle. So I don't know why this has seemingly become a tradition, but it kind of seems like it has. Anyways, this time I got to be the judge, and I was definitely an excellent judge. I was super judgy. I was like, yeah, I'm a pro judge. I do feel the need to point out I actually have no legal background. So that's kind of what you expect for these. It's fine. It's fine. We went end rating, which is why I have Elytra. Anyways, there's been a lot. It's like I said, it hasn't made for videos that I am passionate about making, so I haven't been making those videos. I apologize if that is upsetting to you. Trust me, I would love to make videos about all the things that happen. It's too much. Anyway, this is not a video where things happen. Sorry, this is a very talky video. Next video will probably be one of the builds. I am expecting to do the terraforming for the ravine. I've got some ideas there. I know more or less what I want to do. It's just a matter of actually doing all of the design and everything and then getting it built. So we'll be back to focus on that, hopefully very soon. Until next time, remember to look after yourself. And always remember, the world is a better place with you in it, and I am glad that you're here. Bye.